We live in an era defined by constant motion. If you look around, the baseline strategy for building wealth today usually looks like exhaustion, a frantic, scattered rush to do as much as possible as quickly as possible. This behavior stems from what we can call the competitive plane. It's the deeply ingrained assumption that resources are strictly limited, meaning for you to gain a dollar, someone else has to lose one. Operating with this mindset traps people in a state of perceived lack. It causes them to send out vague desires for more and rush blindly into their work, trying to execute 50 tasks at once out of sheer panic. Curious, analytical tone. But in 1910, an author named Wallace D. Wattles proposed a completely counterintuitive framework. He argued that acquiring wealth is actually an exact, predictable mathematical science. Instead of chaotic hustle, Wattles laid out a method of deliberate discipline. He called it the certain way, a precise system of thinking and acting that requires you to step off the competitive plane entirely. Relying on competition mathematically guarantees burnout. Shifting to this certain way, however, provides a systematic formula for generating continuous abundance. To use this science, you first have to re-engineer your internal architecture. You have to move on to the creative plane, where you generate value rather than fighting over what already exists. The first strict requirement here is clarity. You must hold a crystallized, highly specific mental picture of your goal. A vague desire, like, I want to be rich, creates cognitive overload. A precise vision filters out distractions and gives your brain a roadmap. Once that vision is set, you secure it using a highly strategic cognitive anchor: gratitude. Gratitude serves a practical, neurological function. It prevents the mind from dwelling on dissatisfaction, ensuring your attention remains fixed on identifying new opportunities. However, many people who study mental frameworks stop right here. They rely purely on thought and vision, completely neglecting physical implementation. A clear, grateful vision programs the precise coordinates of your goal into your mind. But those coordinates are completely useless if you don't build an efficient physical mechanism to actually travel there. That physical mechanism is action. Action is the mandatory receiving force for whatever your mind has set into motion. Wattles established a very specific bridge between the mind and the body. By thought, the thing you want is brought toward you, but only through present-moment physical action do you actually receive it. This brings us to the core mathematical rule of the science. Your wealth relies entirely on the efficiency of your actions, not the raw quantity. An inefficient act is, by definition, a failure. Stringing together a high volume of inefficient acts mathematically guarantees failure. The greatest threat to this efficiency is a divided mind. This happens when you execute a physical action in the present while your attention wanders into anxieties about the future or regrets about the past. The functional solution is to put the full, undivided power of your vision into every single present moment task you do, no matter how trivial. Wealth doesn't arrive as a sudden, lucky windfall. It is simply the cumulative, predictable result of linking together purely efficient, completely focused actions day after day. So, what does the certain way look like when applied to modern commerce or a contemporary career? It starts with the mandatory principle of fair exchange. In every transaction, you must give the other person more in use value, the practical benefit they receive, than you take from them in cash value. By adhering to this exact exchange ratio, every deal you make inherently advances the growth of the people and the economic systems around you. If you feel trapped in a stagnant job or a negative environment, the method for advancing is equally precise. You must become functionally too big for your current place. As the text notes, you do this by filling your current role with absolute, overflowing efficiency. When you generate a massive surplus of value, the surrounding environment naturally responds by pushing you toward a larger, better position. When you operate this way, you never need to tear down your competitors. You are aligned with a universal law of increase, meaning your individual success directly fuels the success of your industry. You do not get rich by wishing, complaining, or fighting for scraps. You achieve abundance by systematically becoming a person who thinks and acts in this certain way.